Most gardeners think burning plant material is a mistake. They've been told it destroys nutrients, harms soil, and should always be avoided. But here's the truth. Used correctly, controlled burning can actually create one of the fastest, most effective soil boosters you can apply in spring. And the gardeners who understand this aren't fertilizing the way everyone else is. They're getting ahead. The real mistake is relying only on raw fertilizers or compost while ignoring how nutrients are made available in the soil. I've seen beds overloaded with compost still underperform because the nutrients weren't accessible when plants needed them most. One thing that helped me catch this early was actually measuring what was happening in the soil instead of guessing. I use a 4-in-1 soil meter that checks moisture, temperature, pH, and light. It quickly shows when soil conditions aren't right for nutrient uptake, even if you've already added fertilizer. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. Most gardeners assume more input equals better results. That's rarely true. And this is where controlled burning comes in. So, what burning actually does that fertilizers don't is pretty interesting. When you burn dry plant material like branches, crop residues, or even certain weeds, you're not just getting rid of waste, you're transforming it. The ash that remains is concentrated with minerals, especially potassium, calcium, and trace elements. But more importantly, these nutrients are immediately available to plants. And, that's the difference most people miss. Compost, takes time to break down. Organic fertilizers, well, they really depend on microbial activity in the soil. But ash, on the other hand, delivers minerals in a form that plants can access quickly, which is exactly what they need at the start of the growing season. So in one of my raised beds, I tested this side by side. One section got compost only. The other got a light application of ash combined with compost. And honestly, the difference in early growth was obvious within just about 2 weeks. But, this is where most people get it completely wrong. If you just dump ash into your soil without control, you can cause more harm than good. Ash is highly alkaline. Too much of it can raise your soil pH beyond what most crops can tolerate. That leads to nutrient lockout, even if the nutrients are present. The key is moderation. In practical terms, I use about a thin dusting, roughly a handful per square meter, and mix it lightly into the top layer, or apply it just before watering. You don't need more than that. And here's something important I learned from experience. Always observe how your soil responds after application. This is where a soil meter becomes useful again. It helps you avoid pushing conditions too far in one direction. Timing is what makes this method powerful. Applying ash at the wrong time reduces its effectiveness. Early spring is ideal because plants are just beginning active growth. They need readily available nutrients to establish strong roots and healthy foliage. If you apply ash too late, especially during fruiting stages, it can disrupt nutrient balance. So this isn't a year-round strategy, it's targeted. And when used at the right time, it gives your plants a strong start that carries through the season. This also solves a problem most gardeners don't even notice. Cold soil. In early spring, soil temperatures are often too low for microbial activity to fully kick in. That slows down the breakdown of compost and organic matter. Ash doesn't rely on microbes to release nutrients. It's already in a usable form. So while other beds are waiting for biological processes to catch up, yours already has accessible nutrients. That's one of the reasons I've seen faster early growth in beds where ash was used correctly. You can combine this with compost, but not the way most people do. A lot of gardeners either rely entirely on compost or entirely on mineral inputs. The real advantage comes from combining both strategically. So I apply a thin layer of ash first, and then I add compost on top. This creates a system where, immediate nutrients are available from the ash, while the compost supports long-term soil health and encourages microbial activity. Then I just cover everything with mulch. This layering approach keeps nutrients from washing away, helps maintain moisture, and supports consistent plant growth. It's simple, but honestly, it works. Not all materials should be burned, and honestly, this matters more than people think. Clean, dry plant material works best. Untreated wood, dried crop residues, and natural biomass are, really ideal. Avoid burning anything treated, painted, or contaminated. That introduces harmful compounds into your soil. And just to be clear, don't rely on ash as your only input. It's a supplement, not a replacement for organic matter. The goal is balance, not extremes. This even applies in smaller systems, like containers. In container gardening, nutrients can get depleted quickly because there's limited soil volume. A very small amount of ash, much less than in garden beds, can help replenish key minerals. But precision matters more here. Too much can shift pH rapidly. I usually mix a pinch into the top layer and water it in, then, observe how the plants respond over the next few days. It's a subtle adjustment, but honestly, it can make a noticeable difference in plant health. There's a long-term effect most people don't expect. Over time, repeated small applications of ash can, improve soil structure by adding mineral content. In one of my older beds, I noticed the soil becoming more stable and less prone to compaction. It wasn't just richer, it was functioning better. But again, this only works if you're not overdoing it. Consistency beats quantity. Why this approach works better than chasing fertilizers. A lot of gardening advice focuses on adding more products, more fertilizers, more amendments, more inputs. But real results come from understanding how soil systems actually function. Ash gives you minerals pretty quickly, while compost is all about building structure and biology over time. And mulch, that protects the whole system and helps maintain moisture. When you combine these elements the right way, you create a balanced environment where your plants can really thrive. That's when you stop relying on constant inputs and honestly start seeing consistent results. If you haven't tried this method yet, give it a shot in a small section of your garden this spring. Just compare it with your usual approach and, watch how your plants respond in those early stages. That's usually where the difference shows up first. If you're serious about improving your soil and getting better yields, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This is where we focus on practical, experience-based methods that actually work in real growing conditions. And hey, share this with someone who's still only using fertilizers without really understanding what's happening in their soil.